Welcome back to the Joe Miller Show, KOAN Hot Talk, 1080 AM, 95.1 FM. This show is made possible by the McPherson Tax Defense Group. 1-800-BEAT-IRS, BeatIRS.com. That's BEAT-IRS. Fighting the modern-day Gestapo. We have with us Betty and Dick Odgaard. They run the Gertz House Gallery in Grimes, Iowa. They're both on the line with us. Of course, many in our audience have heard about the issues that a number of Christian businesses are facing with respect to action being taken against them because they won't host or bake homosexual-themed events or cakes. We've talked about the Oregon case. We've actually talked about this case out of Iowa as well a number of times on the show. Dick and Betty are going to be at the 2015 Freedom Conference in Des Moines. That's where I'm going to be next Friday. They'll be there as well. Make sure you go to 2015freedom.org for more information about it. Dick and Betty, thank you for being with us on the Joe Miller Show. Appreciate you joining us.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Joe.
So I'd like you just to give us an overview. I mean, the last time we talked about your case on this program was several weeks ago. Tell us a little bit about what happened, what the current status is, if any, and what you guys are now doing.
Okay, I will tell you that in 2002, we purchased an old Lutheran church, and I'm an artist, and so we were opening an art gallery. And things went along quite well until the economy started to slide in 2008, and we decided that we would take out our partitions that we had for the art gallery, and we could then host weddings and receptions. Then you know what happened in 2009 in Iowa. It became legal for same-sex marriage, and the very next day we were approached by a couple. We turned them down, and we thought that at that time already we would be sued, but we were not.
Betty, did you suspect that it was a setup at that point?
Not the one in 2009.
Okay, all right.
They came in the very next day after the ruling came out, and, everybody was looking for a place to get married then after the Iowa law change. But we had a lot of great weddings there. They were just beautiful. The stained glass is still in the old stone church, and it's just a gorgeous place with lots of ambiance. So we were fortunate enough to have weddings in there for about 5 years. But on August 3rd, 2013, two gentlemen came in and, again, wanted a wedding and a reception, and we turned them down. That was on a Saturday. And they filed their lawsuit the very next day.
When you turned them down, what did you tell them?
Dick was there. I was not there, luckily, so he was the one who delivered the news.
Yeah, we just simply, Joe, explained that we could not provide that service to them because of our faith.
Yeah, amazing to me. In preparation for this, I saw the YouTube that you had up, and we'll try to put that on Restoring Liberty here maybe the next day. Just extraordinary church, beautiful setting, Christian themed. I would assume that at the point the lawsuit's filed on Sunday, it took some time for this to wind its way through the court. What ultimately happened as a consequence of that litigation?
Sure. We were in litigation for nearly 2 years. That it is all over now. It ended in about January of this year. And the outcome was that we ended up paying them $5,000, a fine or, just, I guess, money for the damage that we caused them. But it is now over, and we can speak out, and we are going to. We are loud and proud for our Almighty.
So are you guys still operating out of the old church, or have you closed that business down?
We have closed the business, and as a matter of fact, Joe, we've sold the building to Harvest Bible Chapel, a young startup congregation in the Des Moines area. And matter of fact, their first service will be November 1, this Sunday.
Excellent. Good timing.
It's perfect timing. We couldn't have charted this course any better.
Is there an effort underway in Iowa to offer protections to Christian business owners so that they aren't forced into the type of predicament you guys were forced into?
They're working on it, but I don't think there's a really big push for it. I wish there were. We need the RFRA law in Iowa, the same one that Indiana tried to put into place. But you know what happened in Indiana, so I think Iowa's going to be even more afraid to do it now. or try.
Seems that leaders just don't have the courage to go forward with it in mass, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to speak out to give credential to that movement, and let people speak out so that we can be heard.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, because I think the numbers are on our side. I mean, you look at the votes that took place, even recent votes on gay marriage. You know, Alabama was, 80% against legalizing it. I mean, there are some places like in Iowa where the Supreme Court did it. Of course, you guys then, took out a bunch of the justices that were responsible for that. The people as a whole are opposed to gay marriage. I know attitudes are changing, but I'll tell you, it seems like the radicals are just so effective at extracting punishment that it's frightened a lot of people into the shadows. Is that your take on it?
That's right. And I think the people that appear to be accepting it are actually afraid to think otherwise. So, I think they are just being pushed into those attitudes.
Right. We just had Philip Monk on this program, this last segment, Master Sergeant, Air Force. Guy was forced out as a consequence of him just simply stating his view of biblical marriage. So what does that do to others that are in a similar predicament? Well, of course, they shut their mouths, and sometimes they'll even violate conscience. It's something that we got to push back on, and I can tell you the Democrats aren't going to help us a bit, and there's some Republicans that aren't going to help us a bit either. I'm not going to ask you to go on record at all about the presidential candidates that you're supporting on the GOP side. I mean, are you excited about the field? Do you think we've got some folk out there that are really going to fight to defend religious freedom?
Oh, my, yes. And, we are actually part of Senator Ted Cruz's team, his religious liberty ambassadors, because he is so strong on religious liberty, and it is such an important issue in this upcoming election.
Well, I tell you, the time is really drawing nigh. You look at what's going on in the military today and the ideological change that's occurring as a result of some of the persecution there. It's actually caused me to be much more outspoken. And some, I'm sure, are sharing that. Have you seen that at least amongst some segments of the faith community that people are actually becoming a little more aggressive against this effort of, for example, the radical homosexual lobby to push against religious freedom?
Oh, I think so. I know that it sure opened our eyes and put us on a different path. We wish that we had gotten active several years ago rather than waiting until now. We needed a nod on the noggin to get us activated.
Well, I sure appreciate the efforts that you guys have taken. Now, you're going to be at the Freedom 2015 conference coming up the weekend after next in Des Moines. Are you actually speaking at the conference?
We're not speakers, but we're going to be on a panel.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to that. I'm going to be there. We're going to be broadcasting live from Des Moines on Friday. We hope to interview some of the candidates as well. Make sure you stop by Radio Row and say hi to us. We'd love to chat with you a bit.
We certainly will, Joe.
Tell us just briefly as we close out this segment what you guys are doing. Have you started an organization? Tell us a little bit about how people can support that.
Yes, we have. It's called God's Original Design Ministry. They can visit our website at godsdesign.org. That's with a hyphen, gods-design.org. And what we're doing is we're really getting into the face of the public. We're putting up billboards. And the response has been exciting. And as a matter of fact, we just contracted our third billboard for North Carolina. And we've only been at this 4 or 5, 6 months now. So it's just been extremely rewarding and encouraging.
Dick, give us that website one more time.
It's godsdesign.org, and that's with a hyphen, gods-design.org.
Fantastic. Dick and Betty Odgaard working the fight, continuing to push back, now putting up billboards across the country. You can join them at the Freedom Conference in Des Moines coming up the weekend after next. Go to freedom2015.org. You'll get 50% off discount for families if you put in Miller as the promo code. Stay with us, The Joe Miller Show. We'll be right back after this.